I don't know if you remember this picture. It was blue tacked to the wall. It's just a poster. And unfortunately, I can't remember the artist's name, but you can also just see the reflection of all my wrapping paper, wallpaper in it at the moment, so that's not great. But in real life, it's quite dramatic. It's of a country lane in moonlight, and it reminded me a little bit of the moonlit scene in The Offering, for any of you who've read The Offering. Although it's not quite the same kind of landscape I imagined, but any depiction of moonlight I really like, and I tried to depict moonlight in one of my children's stories with lighting and photographing models and things. It was really difficult. But anyway, I was looking for a frame for a very long time for it, and they all cost about 70. Well, the cheapest was about 70 for this size, to anything up from that, and I couldn't afford it. And I didn't even like a lot of the expensive frames, but this, although it's very, very plain, and actually to touch it you realise it's plasticky, not wood, it doesn't look like plastic. And although it's slightly too small for the picture, so that the mount actually cuts off a little bit of the picture, I'm just so happy with it, and it just fills up that space in the room really well, I think, and kind of adds to that dark corner with the keyboard. And for £30, I don't think anyone could get a better bargain than that. So first of all, I will start with these shoes, which I bought from a second-hand shop. I think it was Cancer Research on Marylebone High Street. When I went shopping with my friend, they were £120, 25 I think actually, but the assistant reduced them to £90 for me, and they looked beautiful on. They were really comfortable. They're a size 4, I'm a 5, sometimes a 6, and the fact that they fitted me just seemed to be a sign that I should get them. But before we go on to the bargains, I will show you the one indulgence that are not bargains at all, and that's these plates from Anthropology. They appeal to my sense of whimsy, and they're quite expensive, £14 each. But I thought, they're for life, and I can use them at dinner parties. I can put them on a dresser if I ever have a dresser, and until then I can put them on my kitchen shelves. And they're just delightful, delectable. The colours, there's a zebra, elephant, King Charles Spaniels, and actually I don't know what these animals are on here. But it's an artist collaboration that Anthropology does quite a lot of, and they're usually the nicest things in Anthropology when they collaborate with artists. So yes, my 4 beautiful plates. Now, the rest of the things are either IKEA or a second-hand shop. This is from IKEA. I think it was £10, which is quite incredible. I had to put it together, and look at the windows. I cleaned those not long ago, but because we live near a road, it just gets like that again. It's just impossible. I try not to look at it too much. Anyway, so I put this shelf together, and it was painted grey because they didn't have any white left in Wembley, which is the nearest IKEA to me, believe it or not. So I painted it with about 4 or 5 coats of gloss or sort of satin paint. It didn't take very easily, but thank goodness it's finally done. And this is going to go in the other bedroom, the main bedroom, and will really add to my kind of cottagey feel in there. There's another video in which I tried to transform the room from a kind of sterile, modern, business-like room to a kind of countryside feel. So that's going to go in there. Then as well from IKEA, I have this little lamp, which is quite incredible in that it's the only electric oil lamp effect I've ever seen. You turn this knob and the light dims, and it really does look like an oil lamp. And it's so cozy at night because before I go to sleep I like to read or look at the internet, but in any case lie in bed. But I don't like a really bright lamp, and this is perfect. Also, I don't like a candle because the flickering tends to give me a migraine. So, and it can be hot, and it can kind of take the oxygen out of the room. So this is absolutely perfect. And this was, oh, £15, I think. Incredible. They're all sold out now in London. Otherwise, I may have got another one for the other room. But this is attached to the cable near the plug, because there seems to be a bit of a manufacturing fault in that the plug keeps giving me shocks. So I've written, you get a shock from this plug, because either it's me in that I do seem to get a lot of electric shocks, for instance when I go down elevators and touch the handrail, and sometimes from glass and things. But this gave me quite a kick every time, so maybe IKEA's electrics are a bit dodgy, I don't know. But in any case, I really love this little lamp. And I usually turn it down quite low just before I go to bed. Also from IKEA, in an attempt to make our sitting room look a little bit Scandinavian, I bought this white metal lantern, and you put candles inside it. And I bought 3 candles from IKEA. A brown one, a red one, and a blue one. The brown one is because I thought these might be a bit garish, but actually we do have purpley blue and red in the sitting room, so I hoped they would go. But if they turned out to be a bit too much, I could just put this neutral and rather nicely textured candle in aside. This is supposed to smell of raspberries. It hardly does at all. It does smell a little bit like a toy, a tiny doll I had when I was a little girl, so I like it because of that. And this is supposed to smell of blackberries, and it doesn't. To be honest, I bought them because I liked the picture on the packaging, which I've now cut out and sticked on the candles. But candles never go to waste. They're always useful in the bathroom or the sitting room or anywhere. And next up, this is not from IKEA, this is from Tiger. And this little notebook was £1. But doesn't it look like a perfect kind of old-fashioned notebook? Unfortunately, I can't get the sticker mark off the back, but that to me is a beautiful notebook. I almost wanted my own novels to look like this a little bit. Inside, the paper's not brilliant, but for £1. And I promised myself not to buy any more notebooks, and there I have. I don't think I'll ever be cured of the notebook acquisitiveness. Now we have another candle from IKEA. I can't remember how much this was. I think it was something like £12. And I got it because, again, it felt very Scandinavian to me, and I thought it might be nice on the sideboard, or indeed on the table if we have company. And ow, I got my finger stuck. Oh yes, also from IKEA is this little stool. This stool is £20, I think, and you have to put it together. We already had one which was serving as a coffee table one side of the sofa, and to make the room look a little bit more symmetrical and put together, I got another one to go at the other end of the sofa. So they're supposed to be dressing table stools, but they serve very well as little drinks tables. I don't know yet whether I'll sand them to make them look a little bit less cheap and manufactured. God, they're pretty solid. I might sand them, I'm not sure. Now we have, get onto the, oh, sorry. these two bowls, these sort of oven dishes in this pretty clover pink and this kind of pale minty green, are from Tiger. I think they were £6 or £8 each, or could even be £5 each. They were incredibly cheap. And I've got some bowls this colour on my metal shelves in the dining area, so I thought this would tie in nicely, and I was greatly in need of oven dishes. I never had an oven before I lived here, so I've never needed them before. On that note, opposite IKEA is in Wembley is a big Tesco, and fatally I went into the Tesco because I think I just needed a snack or something, and I saw all of this china, these tea towels and these glasses and candles. Now Tesco, I don't think it, oh yes, it doesn't have its Homeware online anymore, so there's no way you can know how good it is if you don't go to a store. And to be honest, it's probably quite hit and miss which stores have which products, but I was so delighted with this china, glassware and tea towels, because my little dining area is supposed to have a sort of Provençal feel. Is that how you say it? It's supposed to feel like a kind of French country kitchen, and just as the sitting room is supposed to be slightly Scandinavian, and this china is perfect. I was looking at so many expensive or vintage pieces of china online, knowing I could never buy them, which had a kind of folklorish feel, or a Provençal feel, a French feel, or I was also looking at bargeware, which I loved, and then I saw this. Now, it's not as beautiful as the Anthropology stuff, of course, but for £8, I mean, I don't think you'll get something prettier. At least I think it's pretty, because I love this rustic, simple kind of stuff. So there's an oven dish. I'm pretty sure that was £8, possibly 10. And the colours of red, green and blue really will go with lots of other things on my metal shelves. Then these tumblers were 90p each, I think. They're cheap and cheerful, but they're absolutely perfect for my kind of folklorish French bargeware type feel. So I got 6 tumblers. I got this serving plate, which has a lemon rim, and then this really lovely blue and navy pattern. I think this was about £12. And I got this bowl. I think this was £8 or £10. I'm in need of big bowls for serving things. And these dinner plates, I think they were £3 each. And how pretty are they? They're delightful, I think. Really, really lovely. I love the fresh green colours. The rims are slightly different colours, like you've got a darker green and then spring green. But in any case, I love them. And then there were some little plates. I can't remember how much these were. Oh, a matter of a couple of quid each, I think. Some little saucers. And then I got 2 of these smaller bowls. They're kind of cereal size bowls. And then I got 2 of these larger bowls, which could possibly be used for soup or something like that. And then what I loved most of all were these 3 tea towels, which were also in the same range. Oh, the range, by the way, is Freya. These tea towels, now you can see that the material is very, very cheap and stiff, but the pattern is just perfect. I mean, you couldn't get more kind of French or with a flavour of Provence if you tried, I think. This is just perfect. And I've been running low on tea towels. So there's the red one, there's a green one with little green bobbles on the end, and then there's this red and white one, which to me looks quite Scandinavian. So I was absolutely thrilled, and I think these cost, oh, maybe £3 for the 3 of them. So good old Tesco, good old Tesco. Oh, and also from Tesco, but not the Freya range, something called Fox and Ivy. I got these beautiful candles. I say beautiful because I thought the tins were really beautiful. Not so much the lid actually, but I thought once the candle, oh, just try and get the lid off. I thought once the candle inside had burnt down a little bit, I could turn the lid around, and then I prefer it like that, if you see what I mean. The scents are nice, but I didn't buy them for the scents. I got them because of the patterns. This is green tea and bergamot. I don't particularly like that smell, but these tins will go perfectly on my metal kitchenware shelves. And then the other one, which is even prettier, I think, is this blue, gold and kind of ashy lilac colour. And this is jasmine. And this actually does smell quite nice, if I remember. Yes, that is a very nice smell. So I was delighted with those. I don't know what keeps fogging up. Right. Now we move on to the second-hand shop. Oh my goodness, okay. Now we move on to my second-hand shop purchases. Before I discovered the Freya range of ovenware and tableware in Tesco, I had bought this for £12 from this shop Rocks, which is a really great bric-a-brac shop, which does, I think, have some antiques as well on Brick Lane. And I really love this. Very, very, very lovely old tewing. And I also bought this box without, it didn't have a handle. I bought the box because, as you'll see in another video, I needed something to cover a very ugly light fitting. Just as I've covered the light fitting in this room with that painted blue crate. I needed to cover the light fitting in the main bedroom, and this covers it perfectly, and then I glued a little handle on it to make it look like a cupboard. And this was £15, also from this shop Rocks. And now we come on to the last 3 things, which are pictures. These 3 pictures. I already had the Toulouse-Lautrec print. You may have remembered from the living room, but it was in a very horrible frame from Wilko. So I bought a much nicer wooden frame from IKEA and reframed that print. I think this was £8 for such a big frame, which looks so nice and such good quality. I honestly don't know how they make them for that money. Then we have, this is not a new frame, but I repainted it. It had a horrible rose gold colour on this surface here, so I repainted it with white gloss paint. And then inside, instead of the London postcards, which I put in it for Airbnb, I put some postcards I had on I had blue tacked on the fridge door in there, and it looks much, much better. Now, this picture I did not intend to buy at all. This was a very naughty thing, but in IKEA I saw this print, and it's so beautiful, and the colours would, I thought, would go so well in the living room, regardless of the fact that I don't actually have a place for another picture. You can't really see in the sun here, so I'll take it over here. Yeah, so you can see it has dark blues, greens, creams and reds. It actually looks like a tapestry. And I think it was £9 for 3 prints. The other two were pretty awful, but it was worth it just for this one beautiful picture. And this frame is also from IKEA, and the mount. And the frame and mount were, I think, £10 or £12. It's hard to resist prices like that. So Welcome to my new hallway. I'm listening to the sound of the music in the background. Hopefully I won't get copyrighted. Amen. I love my new little hallway. But what I really want to do is put this mirror here. And I can't fix it to the door because we rent a flat. I cannot hammer it in or put a hook there. But wouldn't it look fine? Sorry about that random bit of singing there. I'm just so happy with my hallway. Yes, so happy with my hallway. So I got some Kandinsky's, very poor quality stuff. But, you know, I can't afford anything else. And they just brighten the place up so much. And I love his colours and I love his work. There's a piece of Russian art up there, which is actually pretty amazing. See that old lady and the cow? And then this is my favourite Kandinsky here. It's called the Blue Rider. And it's a lot more luminous in real life, but this reproduction is the best I could get, and I just love it. It's sort of intense. It reminds me of something like maybe a poem by D.H. Lawrence. Lawrence loved horses and snakes. There are no snakes in this, but still, you know, that wonderful kind of archetypal, Jungian, elemental, metaphorical intensity is in that painting, the Blue Rider. It could mean anything. I like to think it's like imagination or inspiration. Although you wouldn't want to ride either of those, you'd want to walk beside them actually. But anyway, yes, so I'm just going to talk. If only I could put this here, if only I could make this stay, wouldn't it look amazing? Well, I mean, it would look a lot nicer. Hopefully I'm going to take some photos with the mirror here after I've managed to somehow fix it to the door. I have no idea. Very strong blue tack, I don't know. So anyway, this is my last little room overhaul. This door stopper is from my old flat in Fulham in the studio. This doormat's new. This is a cheap IKEA stool, cheap IKEA cushions. My wellies I've had since I don't know when. I've already said these are Kandinsky and a Russian artist I'll have to look up. This is a very cheap plastic wreath, just a green wreath, but I put the little cones, berries and ribbon there. These little stars are two very pretty kind of Scandi wintry decorations that Dave bought for me in the White Company. We've got, sorry about my jeans, they're very big for me and low down. We've got this lamp I got for £15 in the Range. This little hall cupboard, which was I think £80 on Amazon. And I've got some little boxes I've had for ages. I've had for crate window box with fake lavender and things. This little cat's from Oliver Bonas. It's a doorstop. This rug is from Amazon, no, from Wayfair. I liked it because it looked vaguely Swedish to me, and I wanted the hall to have a kind of Swedishy feel. And I think this was like £18 from Wayfair. Then our really, really ugly hall stand, which is one of the kind of horrible metal frame, really cheap ones that we bought just for a purely functional hall stand. I've kind of tried to hide a bit with some, well, coats obviously, and then, sugar, I hope this music, I better close the door in case I get copyrighted. Yeah, so here are some little colourful scarves and things on the top, and to hide the horrible frame, some rugs, a hamper I bought from, I think it's called the Hamper Company, another blanket I had, this basket I had, and we bought this long compartmentalised cupboard in IKEA. Whoa, there goes the Hoover. It's not very pretty, but you can put kind of some reasonably nice looking little things in the front, and to be honest, the hallway will never look like this again, and this will be full of loads of stuff soon and look a bit of a pigsty. But for the photo I just put a pretty little or cute little supermarket bag some hat boxes, my lovely Reese bag that Dave bought me. And yeah, so this is my little hallway. It's just so much more colourful and pleasant and vibrant than before, and I'm just delighted. Oh, this candle is actually Tesco. Fox and Ivy is the range. Some little pine cones I bought on Amazon. Little, I don't know where I got these at Christmas time. I use them for my dinner party centerpiece. This candle is Waitrose. This book is Zara Home. It's not actually a book, it's a container. The Zara Home perfume. Oh, and my little notebook there.